it could come pretty quick.
Hey, Deb, how are you? Happy Wednesday.
Woo, woo.
I can't believe it. We're getting in this Christmas season over here. And you know what? We're going to talk about some awesome stuff today. I just love this whole topic because I'm a huge Christmas person. You know, being in the flower industry for so many years. And we used to take our store and used to decorate it to the hill, just getting ready for the holidays with our poinsettias and all the other stuff. So, but traditions are part of what Christmas is all about, is tradition. And that's what we're going to talk about today, family traditions. But we want to bring some new traditions that maybe you might want to incorporate in your family. And then we're going to ask you too, if you guys want to put down some of your traditions you guys do in our comments, we would love to share them. So with that, Debbie, how are you on this Wednesday?
I am doing great. It's a little chillier today. I think we're starting to get the feel of like the cold is coming, and I'm not really liking that part too much. But you know how you adapt to it, though. You know how like all of a sudden it starts to get easier or whatever. But I did hear that it's supposed to be like close to 50 on Friday, so that's going to actually just mess us all up too again. But hey, there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, okay? And there's a lot of things, but I think I just want to start off with, we've got traditions to talk about, but let's just talk a little bit about gift giving and stuff, because I was talking to Lori about some changes we're making in our family, and I think this is going to be a little bit fun for us to kind of talk about. And it was weird at first for me to think this way, but then at first, I really feel like we got to think about like what is the best and what is in certain situations. So as the kids get older, and so I'm talking from Lori and I's age bracket, that we have kids that are having kids, okay? And kids are getting married, and the family gets bigger, and then it's like you want to buy for everybody, and then you feel like, where do you cut it off, and how do you make everybody? And then you've got the people that always want to open something, which trust me, I like to do that too. And just like, it's cute. And I mean, sometimes you want to be like, oh, I want to be get that special gift for somebody and watch them open it up and see their face, And so in the past, in our household, what normally would happen is I would buy for all of our daughters, and then my now son-in-law, which I can say son-in-law, and of course my grandson and stuff. And my husband and I would just do something together like that we'd want to do for the house. So we'd say, oh, this is for our Christmas together or whatever. So I didn't have to worry too much, but it gets very overwhelming. And then you're constantly asking people for ideas, and you're constantly asking for lists, and you're spending so much money. And the idea of Christmas is kind of like getting lost then. Christmas isn't all about gift giving, but yes, we want to give gifts. Okay. And of course it's part of the Christmas, with the three kings and Jesus and all this stuff, which is fantastic. Right. So we sat down, we talked about a couple things. We talked about, first of all, why don't we do something a little bit more sketched down? Let's do this thing where we do like a grab bag. And we're like, all right, how do we go about that? So research was done, and we chose Elfster to do a grab bag, and we chose our immediate family to do it on Christmas morning. And there's 6 of us that we're doing it with. And of course, we're also going to buy for my grandson and the girls' nephews. And of course, it's, and all that nephew. So we did this. You guys, I'm obsessed. I got to tell you, Elfster. Okay. It's called Elfster. So I'll just give you a couple highlight points, because I could talk about this for a long time, and I could make a whole thing on it. But so we were all in the living room watching a Christmas movie, one of our little traditions. Okay. And we normally watch Elf, but we watched a different one. And so my one daughter was setting this whole thing up. So she went on there, you go to elfster.com. She set up this group. She had us all in there. She needed everybody's emails. That's what you just need, emails. So then you get invited to be on this. So when I got my invite, I accepted, and then I can see everybody accepting. And then all of a sudden we were like, oh, great, everybody accepted. So we're on our phone, right? And so then it asks you, then it does a spin within the app. However it does, it spins it, and you get an email, and it says the person's name that you are buying for is drawn. So I got my drawn name, which I will not say, and we're keeping it very private. We're saying everybody's got to let's not lead anybody on, because, and then you got to wrap it, and let's just see all the way up to the end if we can keep this a secret, which is actually it's really fun. And so we did a dollar amount. We did a little higher dollar amount, that maybe because we thought, all right, we're only buying for that one person. But we said to each other, take your resources and do something good with it. So what we've chosen to do is we went to our giving tree at church, and I took a bunch of tags off, and I'm actually going to go get some more because more of us are owning into this, and we're getting the gifts for the wants and the needs of the people in our community, in our parish. Okay, so this is really good. So I feel so happy that I'm not really buying for all my kids right now. I'm buying one gift, but I'm making other people's blessings that are less fortunate. So this is the whole idea in our family that we did. So the elves are so fun because I'll just tell you a few more points. So we gave each other a deadline, and our deadline is Friday at 12 p.m. Okay, and that's when you as an individual have to go in there and you have to put your wish list. So you can put whatever you want in there that is on your wish list. And then that person who has you can buy whatever they choose. They could buy a few things. They could buy one thing. So you put a variety of things in there, or they can not even go off the list, and they could, if they have an idea of something they want to get you. So I think it's a really cool idea. So I was telling one of my clients about this, and she's like, oh my gosh, we're doing the same thing. So I think it's starting to catch on that as we're getting older, because I feel like, we got to think about this whole thing. Do we really need a lot of things? No, but it is fun, again, to buy a gift for someone and for someone to open it. So anyways, and also with that, I also want to say one more thing, guys. I'm not tuning my own horn. I'm just saying, I got my family to clean out the closet. You might've seen my post. We donated 18 coats, 2 pairs of boots and 2 pairs of shoes. And I might've missed something there. I don't know, but definitely. And it went to our local, and what I did, we have a local food pantry / place that people could go and get things. They kind of go there when they're in need, and they can go like basically shopping for free instead of it going to any other place that they'd have to purchase that. I won't mention names of other places, but I know that it's in my community. I know that somebody here is blessed with that, So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Laura.
I just absolutely love it. I wish I would have known about the Elfster. We're doing a grab bag. We already did the names and everything, but I think that is so cute. I love that idea. We will definitely do that next year. But there's so many other things that we got this list that we downloaded with some really neat things in there. And one of the things that I really like, and I don't know if I'm a big audiobook person. Okay. I have an audiobook downloaded on my phone constantly. If it's cleaning or doing laundry or whatever, I always have an audiobook on. But for Christmas, I love the Christmas books. And there's a couple really great writers that I'm going to put a shout out to. And that is Brenda Novak and Robin Carr. They do great Christmas stories and just a lot of fun. And you know what? They have audiobooks for kids' Christmas books too. And so you could do that and just kind of give that little magical thing. You could put the audiobook on while the kids are sitting by the Christmas tree and stuff. Speaking about Christmas tree, okay, I used to sell Christmas trees in my business, and I just have a thing about, I love the smell of fresh Christmas trees, and I know most of us have the artificial ones now, and I know they sell those sticks. You know what sticks I'm talking about? I just bought a whole mess of them to put around the house and make it smell like real balsam in the house. But I have a thing that when I was a kid, this is my own tradition. One night during the Christmas season, I would fall asleep underneath the Christmas tree.
Aw.
And I was just reading something today about that is a really cool thing to do, is to have your kids one night just get their little sleeping bags. Maybe that would be a great time to put an audiobook on and let them sleep underneath the Christmas tree. It's something magical about the whole thing. But make sure they're not too close to that tree so they don't knock it down over them.
Yeah.
But, and then, there's just so many other things. This is so cool. Play I Spy with an ornament on your tree. I don't know about you, but my family, we were real big I Spy people. We would go in a restaurant and wait for them to bring our food. We play I Spy. So that sounds like a really cool thing. It'd be a nice little challenge there. Okay, Debbie, I'm bringing it back to you.
Hey, Laura, I was going to say, I'm going to throw it out there. If anybody can do this, post pictures of your Christmas trees.
Yes, Debbie.
Here's the thing. Wait till you see my tree. I didn't do my tree this year. This is the first time, you guys. This is so crazy. My daughter Tina got so inspired, and she from somebody, and she took some of the ornaments I have, and when you see it, Lori, it's like crazy. You're gonna love it. It's just got purple in it, and it's got gold in it, and it's got all this. It's just gorgeous. And
Oh,
so,
God.
anyways, post ideas and stuff. And I love the I Spy. We do I Spy too in the car. Like if we're driving on a long distance, it's like, oh my gosh, we got to kind of like, keep it together. But so you can do so many cool things on a daily basis. Some people do, the calendars, the advent calendars. Some people do. I just saw this thing here where you can give your child an ornament every day. I mean, sometimes it gets a little bit like overwhelming. So then you got to come up with different cute little ideas. But you know what? Maybe every day you think of something that you could do nice for someone else too. That could be a little gift that you're giving to someone else, And I also want to say too that I think that some of the traditions that we're going to also touch on are going to be in the kitchen. Lori and I being big kitchen people with like baking, cooking, all that kind of stuff. I think that we should always remember that our traditions do whatever you can to involve your family. It is so easy for the busy mom or the busy grandma to go and just do it themselves, but do whatever you can to include your family in there. I'll give you an example. For instance, for Thanksgiving, my grandson peeled all the potatoes for the mashed potatoes, and he sat there with this little thing. And everybody's like, "Oh, don't give that to him. He's going to cut himself." I go, "He'll be fine, okay?" He peeled all the potatoes, and he was so proud of that, you guys. So I know Lori's fantastic with this. She's got this with her granddaughter. She's and stuff, and try to include them because they're going to remember this, you guys. They're going to remember it. We may forget it, but they're going to remember the time spent with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, whoever, doing whatever it is, and that right there is going to be lasting memories. And that's going to be these great traditions. And it's not too late to start a new tradition, all of a sudden, so, but I'm going to send it back to you, Laura.
You know what? Going back to advent calendars, I gave my grandkids, all the traditional ones I gave my kids when they were little, those little inexpensive ones. But advent calendars are so cool. But I was listening to some lady this morning that was talking about they do a reversal advent calendar. By what that means is what they do is instead of taking out of the advent calendar, they put some kind of food in there, like a canned thing or non-perishable food. And then after the 25 days, they take all the food and they bring it to their local food pantry or donate it. So, and I think it's great because it teaches kids, it teaches your family not only to take, but to give. Because I don't know about you, Debbie, and you and I are so much alike. We get such a joy out of giving things. Oh, don't get me wrong. We love to get gifts too, but there's such a joy in seeing people's face when you're giving. And that's not a tradition you want to really pass on in the family. I know a family that what they did for Christmas was they would get a family's name, like you did, Debbie, with the family, but they had a whole family. And they all went out together and they went shopping and got the gifts for the people. And then they came back and they showed each other what they got for the people. They wrapped them all and they had this little like party. It was great. I just think that is such a cool thing. It really is.
It totally is, you guys. It brings it back to like, we really need to think about others before ourselves a lot. There's a lot of people out there that need things.
Definitely. Yeah. I like this thing too, writing a letter to Santa Claus. Forget about that. That'd be kind of a cool thing to do, especially with your family, Deb, because they get together on Sundays and stuff. But to sit down and everybody write a little thing, a letter to Santa, and put it in a big envelope and mail it to the post office. And like you have everybody's little notes in there. And you know what? You can also incorporate in there, say what you're grateful for. I mean, that would be really good. Now, I know you can watch Christmas movies 24/7 all year long, but I pick like a couple movies that I would say you watch just during the Christmas season. Like Debbie said, you said Elf. One of my favorite movies when I'm decorating is White Christmas.
Yes.
And I just love that because there's music in the background and you could sing along in that too. But these traditions are so important. I know our traditions are changing as time goes on because families are getting bigger. Our kids are getting older. They're having their own kids. They have in-laws. And so the dynamics of the families are changing. So you could still do some of your traditional that your kids grew up with, but you're going to have to kind of figure things out a little bit. But this is the time now too, that your kids that have kids have to start their own traditions too. I know with my son's family, they go out and buy each other an ornament every year. That's one of their traditions that they have. So
That's true.
yeah, and I think, us older generation, we can't take offense to the whole idea that they're starting their own traditions. It's just part of life.
You know what? I just got to say something about that. I think that Lori and I both know we've been there, done that when we had the small kids and we running here, running there, running here. I remember the first Christmas with Tina. Oh my gosh, we were at this house and this house and another house. I came home and I was like, "What are we doing?" I mean, and it's so hard to be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we're looking at the clock. We got to leave or whatever."
Right.
So I mean, whatever you can do to try to make it. I mean, I think it's really awesome that everybody's doing things on Christmas and Christmas Eve and everything. But the holiday season the whole season. We celebrate it on certain days, but it can be before and after as well. So if you have to spread it out a little bit, a lot of people are doing that with Thanksgiving too. They're having, like different ways. It's okay. Don't get so hung up on it. Don't get so bent-nosed of, oh, I'm not seeing someone on a certain day. The fact is you're seeing them whatever day it is, and if you have to work it out, you got to work it out, and you got to bend because I know that it's hard for the young ones that, especially as they're having the kids and they're like having to figure out what they're doing. And the last thing they need is to be stressed out. Then they're not in a good mood. Then what are you doing? You're self-destructing yourself.
Right. Oh my God. I remember staying up the night before wrapping presents till wee hours of the night.
Oh yeah.
You know what? This is a great thing here is create holiday cards and bring to the children at the hospital.
That's awesome.
I guess you would have to get a hold of the hospital and tell them that you're doing and just drop them off, That's something I'm going to look into because it's something I want to personally do too. Too is, did your kids ever do where they've taken like spray bottles and put food coloring and spray the snow different colors?
No, no.
That would be a great tradition to do is to go to the dollar store. They sell the bottles, okay? Fill them with water, put different color food coloring in each one. And then like the night before Christmas Eve or whatever, have your grandkids or your kids go out and make like arrows this way, Santa or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That's
that could
fun.
be a little tradition too. And that, have you ever made reindeer food before?
I have not made it, but Mariano had it in a little like can. He got it within this little kit thing that got sent out. Like there are these kits that you can send away for, and that it sends, but you gotta do it ahead of time, and it sends the kid this picture, comes in this box with a sugar cookie, reindeer food, a bell. I'm sure it's quite pricey. I didn't send it, my daughter did, but
there's all kinds of stuff like that. You can make it with you can take oatmeal and you put oatmeal, you put glitter in there.
Oh yeah.
And you put it in a baggie, and the night Christmas Eve they go and they put it out so the reindeer have food outside. Those are all these really, really great traditions. I don't know about you, but I still think this is one of the greatest traditions, and that is going to either they don't have midnight mass anymore, or going to an lit up service, candlelight service. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the name. Candlelight service for Christmas is always a nice tradition to do with your family, no matter what denomination you are. A lot of the churches have like a 5:30 mass on, or
Yes.
5:30 service on Christmas Eve, where the
Mhm.
kids, they have it geared more to the kids with puppets and stuff like that. Great tradition, a great tradition to have. I couldn't speak highly of that anymore. Jeff, anything else? What do you want to say?
I feel like we were covering, I mean, there's a lot of things like you did say, that holiday cards for hospitalized children, maybe there could even be a few little trinkety things that can go in there, Lori and I are definitely the dollar store queens, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can find in places. So, maybe in addition, bringing something, I mean, I know sometimes they can't take things from the outside, but if you have
Right.
if you have an in somewhere, sometimes if you know somebody, that's always, a good thing to do. But I think the biggest thing right now is, we've had these years of craziness, and I'm going
Right.
to probably say, don't you feel, Lori, that like Thanksgiving felt different this year? Thanksgiving felt more free, more enjoyable, less stressful. I mean, yes, in the back of our minds, everybody's thinking about, oh, no one wants to get sick, but flu's going around too. So now it's like, okay, there's always going to be something, But I feel like people feel like they have a little bit more flexibility and freedom. I heard this is what I heard, at the stores, the malls, all of them, all the stores are getting a lot of traffic, a lot of sales. Online isn't doing as much. That's what I heard, statistically or whatever. But it's still very early. But I happened to be near a mall and I saw the hustle and the bustle. And it's cute. It's cute to see people back out there doing all that stuff. It's a very cool thing. And again, the traditions and the fun, and I think people are gathering and are you okay? Gathering and stuff. And I mean, if you can host some people over during the holiday season, to have them come over and just get together and just talk and play cards. I mean, there's other things. It's not all about the days of. I think the whole holiday season should be really, touching on other people's lives, trying to do all kinds of fun stuff,
Sorry about my crop.
It's okay.
But I'm going to put something out there. Okay. One of the things is bake a signature cookie that you're, you know what, Debbie? I think one of these Fridays, I'm going to actually hand out my chocolate chip cookie recipe and do a quick, easy way of making the dough, and everybody can make it. That would be my gift
That'd be awesome.
to our listeners
That's awesome.
and stuff. So we'll have to.
Will you do like my grandmother did at that one point in time? I have a grandmother that left one ingredient out because she did not want the kolaches.
Really?
The kolaches that she made that were the best ever. I remember as a young kid. See, here's another tradition. Thinking about that, and my cousin and I are like, Grandma left out the whatever item, so they're just not tasting the same, But I know you won't do that.
No. I have no reason. But
Right.
you know what? I've heard of people doing it. There's actually an I love Raymond episode with the mother.
Oh, really? Yeah.
About something, but that's beside the point. Now, listen, we're like I said, we're going to the most magical season ever of Christmas. And this year, again, with everything opening up more and families and I'm just so looking forward to the holidays this year. And we have to just and we have to think of all the positive things, and let's just forget about the negatives that has been going on the last 2.5 years. With that, Debbie, is there anything else that maybe you could close us out with, or anything else you could add?
Sure. I just want to say this. The gift of that we love to give back to everybody is doing this platform, because Lori and I just love this. And so we just want to say, please, like refer people, invite people, share us. We've got a lot going on. I know we've talked about things we're potentially starting, and there's a lot of stuff we have in the back burner. They're all not on point all the time with timing, but they are coming. We've got some panels coming. We've got some new authors too of other books. We've got all kinds of stuff. Okay. Some different organizers and things so apropos for the new year coming up and stuff. And, so just, and we also want to say that, again, we like to repeat this, that if you or someone you know has a gift, a talent, or something that you think was really valuable to share with people that fits within what we do, please alert us so that we can figure out if we can get them on, because that would be really fun. So with that, we're just going to say, hey, enjoy this beginning of the December weekend coming up ahead. I know it's only Wednesday still, and we've got the rest of the week, but everybody have a really good, safe week, and we'll see you soon. Okay. All right,
Take
guys.
care. Bye, everyone. Take
Bye,
care.
everybody. Take
Bye.
care.
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.